once again producing anger and distrust. Here, the purpose seems to be to weaken the U.S. internationally by turning its people against one another and against our government here at home. The Kremlin isn't the only party playing these dangerous games. Its cyber aggression is just a piece of a much bigger problem that now confronts the entire world, the problem of misinformation. The web of communications technologies that draws us all ever closer together also makes it ever easier for falsehoods, slander, prejudices, and bad ideas to travel much faster and farther than ever before. That's a direct threat to all of us and to democracy, which depends on a well-informed electorate to reach good decisions. I work for IREX, a global non-governmental development and education organization. We are active in over 100 countries on issues such as education, leadership, information, and youth. The global spread of misinformation intersects with everything we do. So in recent years, we've been tackling the problem head-on. In this course, some of my colleagues and I are going to share with you our proven methodology for building your resilience to misinformation. We call it Learn to Discern, and we developed it in Ukraine in response to the ongoing crisis there on the front lines of the information war. By the end of this course, we aim to make you more discerning consumers of information, better equipped to judge the validity of the information you receive, and less prone to pass it on if it's suspect. As part of that effort, we want to give you a thorough understanding of the nature and scope of the threat that misinformation poses to us all. Let's take a moment to define terms. Misinformation simply means incorrect or misleading information, while disinformation is information that is false and deliberately created to cause harm. Because it can be hard to identify what the intent was of the person who created a piece of information, it's generally more accurate to use the word misinformation as an umbrella term. While the term fake news has surged in popularity, no one can quite agree on what it means, and it has been used as a slur by politicians to attack reporting that they simply disagree with. It also describes only a small slice of the complex misinformation phenomenon that we live with today. For the sake of accuracy and precision, we will avoid using the term fake news during this course whenever possible. Claire Wardle of First Draft Media, an organization devoted to combating what it calls information disorder, came up with a useful taxonomy of misinformation that identifies 7 types of problematic content. The frame is so helpful that I will quote it in its entirety. Satire or parody. No intention to cause harm, but has the potential to fool. False connection, when headlines, visuals, or captions don't support the content. Misleading content. Misleading use of information to frame an issue or an individual. False context, when genuine content is shared with false contextual information. Imposter content, when genuine news sources are impersonated. Manipulated content, when genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive. Fabricated content. New content is 100% false, designed to deceive and do harm. This taxonomy makes it clear that the world of misinformation is complex and nuanced. More often than not, perhaps, true elements mix with false elements to create a confusing and powerful piece of misinformation. 2 additional points that go beyond Wardle's taxonomy are important to call out here. First, hate speech, which can fall into any of these types of content. Hate speech is bigoted content that attacks a person or identity group based on that identity, whether race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or other attributes. Additionally, it's worth defining propaganda, which can contain elements from several of Wardle's categories. Propaganda is crafted with the intent to persuade people of a particular idea or point of view. For example, that a particular identity group is not to be trusted. It's a form of disinformation, which, as I mentioned earlier, involves deliberate falsehoods intended to cause harm. Today, disinformation is used to sow distrust, polarization, and animosity. Different pieces of...
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.